Hello and welcome back to Amnesia the Dark Descent. So last time we made our way through the prison, and we made our way into the cistern where we went ahead and we lowered the water level. So now we need to do a series of puzzles. First puzzle is going to be this section here. I'm actually going to grab this pipe because we're going to need it later. What we have to do is we have to note down the relative heights of these three, and then we have to go to the other side and we have to match it. And that's actually what we have to do for a few different puzzles here. We have to match things up as best as we can. I'm just picking up those, so let's see. So from left to right, it's low, high, middle. So now if we go this way, we're actually going to have to mirror, and I think it's a direct vertical mirror. So what we have to do is the right side one has to be around low. Let's see. There's a little bit of a sound cue that you can sort of get to with these. Takes a little bit of, yeah, it's that little clicking, clanging sound. So let's see if I got this right. Perfect. And that's actually a little bit of an indicator. This puzzle apparently stumps a lot of people the first time they get through here. And this is one of the only puzzles that I remember being relatively, I don't want to say easy, but straightforward. Alright, so next up, we need to go through this door. And this door is actually going to start closing on us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove boxes in to keep it open. Because if you don't, on the other side, the door breaks. Or rather, the door handle breaks, and that makes life very, very unpleasant for us. Especially if you don't know exactly how to get it back open. Let's go ahead and do this. Can I please open you up? Ah, dang it. Ah, that's fine. 2 is good enough. So I got 2 pipes. These are going to be for the third and final part of the puzzle. Let's do this. Sneak on through. And this is actually, this will allow us to open it up for now. But we're going to have to, that's eventually going to break off. So that's why I'm just preempting it. Let's throw you down here. Second stage of the puzzle. We need to go into here. And we need to match up the other side with this. So if we take a look, it goes down, up, down. We're going to have to match that onto the other side, where there's going to be another one of these pistons that's just hanging out up in the air. Oh, hey, a note. And a tinderbox, even better. Alright, machine, 13th of January, 1799. The work I have put into this machine is unequaled by the reasoning of any man. The thought that generations of men have passed away since I first attempted to reconstruct the design is most tiring. The limitations of this world have made my work incredibly difficult. It has forced me to build the thing almost 100 times larger than the delicate contraption it tries to emulate. Not to mention the flow of tamed lightning crudely replaced by pressurized steam pushing its way through pipes and turbines. It shames me to think of what the inventor would have thought of my monster. Where he works with a magnifying glass to carefully fix all the parts, I push 5 men to erect a tower of wrought iron in the hope it will have even the tiniest hint of the power found in a traveler's locket. So he talks about tamed lightning. I think that kind of implies that wherever Alexander comes from, they actually have electricity and everything. And I mean, we're in the, I can't remember if it's like late 1700s or early 1800s, something like that. I think it's 1700s, but anyway, we're now in here. Let's go do this puzzle. So it was from left to right, down, up, down. And once that's done, yep, it locks itself in place, and you actually, yeah, it's stuck in its position. Oh, wait, what? Okay, that's weird. It said it was stuck in its position, because... Yes, and you can see Alexander kind of knows that we're here now, and he's very confused. And he wants to know what the heck we think we're doing. What that did, by the way, this crank, that's actually what you use on that door when you're done, because if you try to crank that open, it's going to break off. I'll probably just use the crank to get it out of my inventory. Alright, so now we're on the third section here. And what we have to do is we have to use these pipes, and we have to link up some of these holes. Now, this is sort of a guide in a way, but it's not really a great one. This is one of the only puzzles that, to date, I've always sort of had to trial and error my way through a bit. The good news is the game actually does just match these. And it's always this third piece that I cannot quite remember if it goes there or if it goes to the other side or something like that. Yeah, because if you look at these pipes, it's a little odd. Alright, so that actually just matched up all 3 of them. I can't take them back off. So now we should be all set. Let me double check my notes. That's my note, not journal. Memento, yep, okay, so it actually still says that there's valves in the cistern, and I'm not sure why. Let's go. Oh, yep, there we go. The wheel won't fit. What? Okay, that's weird. What's supposed... Okay, I'm not... Oh, that's what happened. Okay. Yeah, this wheel is actually supposed to completely fall off like that. But yeah, you can go ahead and use this, and then you re-crank the door open if you get stuck. So anyway, that went ahead and took care of the elevator portion. Or not the elevator, the lift, and that took care of the water. So now we're going to go back across the third way, the way to the right side now. He waited for his eyes to adjust to the darkness, but no shape or contour appeared. Alright, let's go ahead and bring you down quick. And what do I have for oil still? I still have... Yeah, I have 5 of those, and I have a decent oil supply. Oh, and apparently my rock disappeared. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to really quickly grab these. There is actually something worth noting. You actually cannot die from a fall in this game, unless you fall down a bottomless pit. But I could go ahead and just run off the top of this 20 times in a row, and it would never kill me. At least in this difficulty. Maybe they changed that in the hardcore mode. But let's go ahead. I'm going to just lob you up here. This should bring it down. Yep. And now we're going to go into the morgue. And this is going to be a not fun section. The purpose of the inner sanctum had always been to study the orbs and find a way to force them to yield their power. However, he was still unaware of this. Yeah, so of course, Alexander, coming from this other world, he knew what was going on with the orbs and how to use them.
Do you see, Daniel? It has yielded.
What?
The shadow.
It has?
For now. Come, let's get this out of here so we can get some peace.
Yes, let's. Where to?
Just down the corridor, to the morgue.
Are there more dead men there?
You did well, Daniel. Come, let's get going.
I mean, Daniel, it's a morgue. I'm not sure where else dead men would be, or rather, should be. But that was our first hallucination. We're going to have another one here in just a second.
What? What happened? Why are all these dead? Where am I? What's happening? Help! Anybody! Help!
Stupid cockroach. Yeah, so that guy was one of the people that apparently was a torture victim of this place. Ooh, nice laudanum. And he apparently woke up in here buried alive with a bunch of corpses.
3 days now. This is ridiculous. Why doesn't someone enter this room? Hey! Anybody? Am I all alone here? Help! Help! I'm so tired. If I sleep, will I wake from this nightmare? If not, I pray my Heavenly Father will take me in my sleep.
Yeah, and that guy was slowly losing it as he realized that he probably wasn't going to leave. Now, if you're being clever, you might ask the question then. Something came from this door and broke this open. We'll deal with that later. So anyway, let's head on back. There were 2 paths that I could go. So this was the first one. We needed to go down there because we needed a copper tube specifically to attach to the surgical needle. The second way to go was down here. This is going to be a room with a corpse in it. And let's go ahead and see. There should be a note somewhere near that's going to explain... there's a couple notes actually that should explain what we have to do. So let's try this one first. This is the Plague Outbreak. The strange deaths among the servants and prisoners have finally been resolved. It seems that the drain sewer has recently been opened up for use as a means of transport is plagued by a peculiar poisonous fungi. The victims seem to have suffered an extremely quick outbreak of sickness affecting the entire body. Some of my men, including myself, are blissfully spared by this calamity, but it is clear that this cripples my progress. The prisoners die quickly, and their contaminated vitae lacks the energy I seek. I shall immediately start working on a vaccine. Alright, hey, look, what are these?
I hear you breathing, Daniel. Do you hear me? Have you changed your mind?
Yeah, Alexander, I actually have. I'm gonna come up there and kick your teeth in, wherever you are. Let's go ahead and open up this. Yeah, I thought there was one of those little memory jars in there. Some laudanum, tinderbox, nothing else. And before I open up this, I'm just going to show off. So these 2 rooms here actually both are just full of bodies. They just had dumping grounds. There's like a mild crematorium that they've just shoved people in. Yeah, they were doing some pretty bad stuff here. I just heard somebody got called a bitch, I guess. And then there's this one here, and there's just more bodies in this, like, water-filled area. And somebody apparently was alive enough to smear blood on the wall. And you can hear that ringing sound. That's not good. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's read this note here. The vaccine trials. The vaccine enabling my men to work in the fungi-ridden sewer is a definite success. Unfortunately, only a few of the servants have been remedied as the procedure proved difficult. The others will perish and eventually have to create more of them to keep my experiments running. Note that an injection of vaccinated blood will work as a shield long enough to pass the sewers without any risk of infection. It will do fine for prisoner transport. Yeah, so that definitely kind of sells the idea that these people have no idea about anything like blood types and such. Let's see, the body's still stiff from rigor mortis and it can't be older than a day. Let's check here. Corpse in the morgue is only a day old. Yeah, surgical tool. And I still don't know why the cistern thing is there, because there's only 3 of those. But anyway, I'm going to pop this quick, and fair warning, it's going to be really bright. I fear for Daniel, for he is reckless. He is tainted by the approaching shadow and will not be able to pass the gate. Will he be able to accept this in the end? My love, I've seen evil in him. How am I to trust him with the truth? What cruel irony that I have to do unto him what Agrippa did unto me. Yeah, so these are definitely Alexander's little memory capsules. Anyway, we need to get this guy to somehow inject some blood into us, but we can't just use the tube. We have to penetrate the skull with the drill. And then once that's done, the body is somehow still bleeding. Oh, the handle also broke. We now need to go ahead, stab the needle in, and then, Daniel, good luck, buddy. Hopefully you have the same blood type as this guy. Or at least the blood won't, like, clot into your system and then you die. Okay, so head is pounding, a few cuts, and I need to keep that door open because now... Okay, game, stop taking control of my mouse, please. That was a brute. Now, we haven't really seen one of them yet. They are the second type of enemy, the second type of gatherer. They are very, very dangerous, and they are the ones that have the capacity to kill me in a single hit. I think what it is if they do a charging attack at you, and don't worry, we'll definitely see one of them later. So I'm not denying you anything by not looking at this picture. Alright, so let's wait a few minutes and hide. That ringing that you are hearing, though, that noise actually normally is related to having an orb fragment around. I don't think there is one here. I think this is just Daniel's mind slowly shattering at the fact that he's done all of this, that he played a role in killing this many people. And yeah, Daniel, no matter what happens to him, is not going to have a good... Oh, God. Yeah. Daniel, no matter what happens, is not going to be having a good experience here. But I need to get out of this room because I'm already on ... sanity. Let's see, is the brute still here? He is not. Got it, okay. So we're going to just have to take a risk. I need to get out and to immediately run to the left. If you run actually down to the right to go back to the room that the guy was buried alive in, the brute will actually be patrolling out there. Let's see, the blue light blinded him as it had done inside that murky tomb in Algeria. It was just as enchanting, and he tried to approach it, but the Baron's firm hand held him back. Yes. So, we finally got our vaccine, made our way forward, and now we have to do the sewer. And the sewer is going to be a not fun area because it's very, very unpleasant, and it's full of monsters, and we're actually... What the heck? Water's too deep to traverse safely? What? Wait, did I miss did I not do one of the cistern valves? I mean, I imagine that I didn't then, because this is still going, but I feel like... Well, I guess it would have had to be the second one, right? Did I just not do it or something? Yeah, let's really quickly run back. Okay, that would explain, though, why that's there, but maybe this will give me a opportunity to redo this. And this is just the same one about the wild orchid inside the castle. I'm not going to reread the ones that I'm certain that we've already read. Okay. Yeah, because we did the first, we did the second... Yeah, I guess it has to be this one. Or yeah, we did the first, we did the third. Yeah, because once you do all 3 of them, the guy actually stops crying. You can't hear him anymore. Let's go ahead and pop this. That's a little embarrassing. But that does explain it, though. I thought maybe I had just bugged out this section of the game. Okay. Let me see here. What is... Yeah, so, yeah, well, you know, that makes sense, though, because that torch was still lit. Wonderful. And now everything is collapsing, and now that area should be fully lowered. Yeah, and now I no longer have the wibbly-wobbly insano vision. Okay. Let's head this way, and I think, yeah, there's going to be the sound of a Karnak. Oh yeah, and that guy is... You can sort of hear noises, but for the most part, they're just gone. Oh hey! That's right, so now this is one of the possible trigger events. Yep, because once the red stuff shows up, the Karnak is actually around. And that makes it a very real threat. Okay. Yeah, I guess that happens if it takes too long to do that. Let's see, yeah, that's the line about the eyes adjusting to the darkness. Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Alright, let's go on down here. Can't believe I frickin' didn't turn the valve. That was just stupid of me. Anyway, we should now be able... Oh, find her, yeah, and that's actually one of Daniel's memories, telling the servants to find the missing girl. And we actually encountered the missing girl earlier. If you remember, when there was the very dark area that had the little flame platform. Oh, 1 second. Henry Bedloe went to class carrying the anger of his bitter mother. He never cried, he made others cry instead. Pain is like that. You either become sad or you become angry. Henry always chose the latter. Okay, that was weird. Sorry about that. I just thought I heard like a pounding on my door or something, but I didn't hear anything, and I'm living alone. So, not sure if it was just like some bass from a neighbor next door or something like that. Anyway, we're now in the sewer, and we are going to have to make our way through here. Now, the good news is there's no water monsters. The bad news is there's normal monsters instead. And that, I don't remember if that is one of the new ones, if that's a brute, or if it's just one of the gatherers, the normal guys. Let's go on. I'm actually going to go wait around just a second, because I think eventually that monster does despawn. Okay, and that's the second time I just heard that loud pounding, but I'm pretty sure it's coming from next door to me. So I'll just have to go ahead and edit around that. Anyway, let's head on out, and let's see if the monster is still there, because the monster will occasionally just be standing here, and he eventually does disappear, and I think he just disintegrates if you wait long enough. So we're going to head on down here first, because we have to get a special item. What we have to do is we have to go down to that pipe, and we have to break it off. And we're going to use that in the future to stop that little rotating fan mechanism. Come on. There we go, Daniel. Good job, buddy. Picked up a pipe. And just a short pipe. So, yeah, that rotating, like, gear wheel mechanism thing that you saw earlier, that was sort of right ahead of where we were entering, that's actually going to be our next puzzle. We need to stop this from rotating so quickly.
What's happening? What are you doing? Let me go! Please, don't take me! Nobody ever return!
Yes, and that was just one of the prisoners being brought into this area by either Daniel and Alexander or by some of the gatherers. And we did hear... Yes, we did hear Alexander talking about his gathering servants being killed off by this thing. He did mention having to make more of them. So that does confirm that these things are not... Hello? Yeah, these things are not entirely natural. They're actually creatures made by Alexander. Alright, so we're going to go on up here first. Let's go through this, and this is actually a machinery room. This machinery room, I'm actually going to just grab a few drops of oil. Let's see. Yeah, God, I'm not really ever sitting, like, particularly well on oil supplies. What we have to do is we have to crank these so that it makes as little noise as possible. So if we go do it this way, it actually starts making a lot of noise. So if we went back, it wouldn't work. So what I have to do is we have to crank it all the way out to the farthest sides, and that should lower the gears, or that should lower the speed enough that we can jam the pipe in without hurting ourselves. Alright, and there's a really easy way to determine if we've done it successfully or not. That's how, because one of the brutes spawns, and the brute tries to get in our way. I will say this is actually, I think, one of the safest areas. I don't think the brute can actually get back here and hit you unless his sword clips through. And I also don't know if he always comes into the room even. Sometimes he just walks to the top of the stairs and turns around. But unless he sees you, then he will just break right through the door. So I'm going to give it a second until he stops moaning and complaining and then go away. And then I'm going to head on down. Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Now I'm actually really paranoid because of that, like, pounding I was hearing. Because it sounded like somebody coming up the steps. And I don't know who would be here coming up the steps. So, yeah, that's not good. But that's why I guess I have my handgun sitting next to me. Also because I'm American. But let's go ahead and head on down. I think the brute is gone. Yeah, this should be fine. And I'm gonna... probably safe to run. I don't think that this game has like a limited run system. Not that I recall, so you're pretty safe to just run around. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it's going much slower. Let's go ahead and shove the pipe in. And... perfect. And now we can go into here. I can say that I've never tried to sprint past the brute and, like, activate this and then crawl under. I don't know if it's even possible because I think the brute will do a charge attack and just kill you. Anyway, let's head on up here, and now we're going to see one of the more interesting things in the game. There's going to be a special room up here. So this here, of course, this particular pipe, this area is all broken up, but it's impossible to get through. So let's head on up here, and we're going to see, and notice there's a pile of dead rats, and there's a dead gatherer. So you can actually get a really good look at the body of the gatherer if the stupid stuff doesn't get you. And this is a really good look at the face of a gatherer.
Turn around this instant. You are carrying the shadow with you.
Yes, so their jaw, all of the skin on it, it's distended, it's broken, they have no lower jaw bones. And now, something... oh boy. Yeah, Daniel's having a little bit of a freak-out moment. Something killed this. And there's only two things it could have been. It could either be a certain brute, or it was the shadow itself. I am personally of the opinion that the brute did it because of the fact that these are pretty clean slices. Like, it slashed it in half, looks like it slashed the arms off, and then it just left it there. Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, so the normal grunts, I don't know if you ever really noticed it, that one of their hands is normal and one of them is like really overgrown and misshapen and it has like metal spikes or claws coming out of it. This one only apparently had two normal hands, so I'm not sure if they just only made one model and doubled it, like if they didn't make a separate model for the arm. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're gonna head on down here, and now... a certain brute decided to come join us, and that brute just broke down that gate that we needed to get past. Only way to really do this that I'm aware of is you just kind of hide back here and you just have to wait. I don't think the brute comes much further than like right inside the entryway unless he sees you. And if he sees you, you're just gonna die. That's the end of the game for you. So let's wait a second. Let's see if he actually comes up here and kicks in the door or not. Well, you can hear... yep, he's coming in. Let's see now. So he just busted in the door. Yep, and there is the brute. So the brute is a little bit like the gatherers in that he's hideously mutated, but he has a few different things. So his face is actually... it's almost like it has a weird lopsided jaw. Like the face is turned into some type of a maw, and you can actually just see like exposed human molars in it. As well, his left arm has been replaced by a large blade. And that blade is going to be what makes the brute very, very dangerous. And after this, the brute is now going to be a common enemy in certain sections. So we're going to have to be very, very careful. I'm trying to remember, I think a normal hit by a brute, like if we just walk up and he smacks us, this is about 60% of our health. So I do need to make sure I'm always at least at a few cuts and bruises. But yeah, if he does the charge attack, it does 100% of your health, and then you're just dead. Anyway. Yeah, so you can hear something now. There's actually a brute blocking our way. So what I need to do is this. I need to first throw something in here, and what we have to do is we have to try to draw the brute away from the road he's blocking. I'm being a little bit more cautious with the brutes just because of the fact that they are so dang dangerous. Alright, let's do this. And I'm really hoping that the brute is all the way back there, because if he didn't hear that, then I have a problem. Let's see. Okay, cool. And now we're going to have a very, very tense moment in about 10 seconds here. So the brute no longer is covering, because he is just standing right there. But The Brute now is chasing us. The Brute immediately knows where we are, what we're doing, and he immediately charges in. However, there's something kind of funny here. This is a little bit like the iron gate door that I was toying with earlier. The Brute doesn't detect you if you're on the stairs. And if he actually gets up here, what you can do is he'll just run at the ladder directly below you. Let me go ahead and see. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was hoping that I could use that to give you guys a good look at the Brute, because he'll just stand here and he'll idle. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Hey, buddy. Yep, perfect. I'm going to go up a little bit more just to see. Yeah, you can kind of get a good look at him. You can see his head's like partially split open. You can see the blade that is his left arm. The little wibbly wobbly thing that happens with your vision makes it a little bit tougher, but that gives you a pretty good look at him. Anyway, we're going to go up one of the tallest ladders in the game, and we are now out of the sewers, and we're making our way to the next section here. Let's go on and see. I don't remember exactly what this place is called. I think it's an area before getting to the inner chancel. But there is never any escape. Things like this live with you always. How could he know if Henry would show up down the road or even at his house? Is he that mad? Would he do that? Yeah, so apparently this Henry fellow was a constant problem for Daniel back in the day when he was but a kid. Anyway, I'm going to take this chance to end this video here. Next time, we're going to be making our way through all these doorways, and we're going to actually start making our way towards the last quarter of the game. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you next time.